This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free-form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Yo, so episode 12, episode 13, we don't know what the fuck it is. But, hey guys, how you doing this week? What week is it?
Don't at me. This is going to
This
come
is the
out.
last episode of the year.
Yeah, it is. It is. Going out in high fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we do the weekend recap. By the time people hear this, it'll be Monday. So I guess Thursday's not quite the weekend, but in our book it is. Might as well recap our Thursday, right?
I feel like it was like the entire goddamn weekend.
Peak of the
in
year.
One night.
It was the peak of the year.
Yeah.
What are we getting into? What are we talking about? We're talking about our stand-up.
Yeah. We
Took the plunge.
We each did an open mic.
Is that the thing? Took the plunge? Is that the phrase?
I don't know.
Took the...
Dived right in.
Something like that. Anyway, yeah, we decided, it's
Cannonball.
time. So we were talking about it with Alan when we were recording that last Play It By Ear. The first one, or what the second one I think that
Nah,
came
it was
out.
actually the last November.
We first talked about it at Play It By Ear, though.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Alan had been hitting up open mics, like just going to them.
Secret group for the most part, right?
Yeah, we went to another. Fuck, I got so fucked up that night. We ended. We went to improv first. Actually, we went to the improv.
That's
and,
right. I do remember that.
Yeah, we saw a friend of his do a set, and I think she's like been doing it for a while or whatever. I mean, shit, she was doing open mic at the improv. You know what I'm saying? I would have never thought of like
Yeah,
starting
that's
there or anything. So I think
big
she's been in it for a
stage.
minute. I mean, it's not big stage because like.
Relatively
People like us,
speaking,
and, like it costs like $7 or some shit like that. But
Yeah.
still, though, I mean, you have to improv. Ain't no telling who walk in there or who watching you. You know what I'm saying?
right?
So like to do it there, but from then on, we went straight to Secret Group for another show. Actually, we caught like 3 shows there, and I don't even remember. That seemed like a whole fucking night. That's what's cool about fucking Secret Group, man. It's like 3 different spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, you walk into one spot.
It's like some Grand Theft Auto mission. You got to unlock like parts of the map.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that shit was dope, man. And I was just like, the last time we went to like, it was strictly Secret Group. I think it was like on a Saturday, like 2 Saturdays ago or something like that. And it was, I had a good time, man. I saw this dude, his name was Jeff. Jeff, you met him last night or whatever. He was, I don't know, like, he seemed just so nonchalant, like, with his jokes and shit. And I was just like, it just seemed like he talking, but he was funny, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I feel like I could do that shit, man. He was my inspiration to actually, like, do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to end the year with a bang. So I was just like, fuck it.
We've been talking about doing it for a decade at least,
Yeah.
since we were 20. And I think the last few years we've talked about doing it, like, seriously trying it.
Yeah.
And then, we just kind of, hey, let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's quit beating around the bush. Let's quit being bitches. Let's just do it.
I hit the group chat. I was just like, yo, fuck it. I'm doing it. And you know what I'm saying? And like, everybody was like, all right, I'm down. I'm there.
Right.
Or whatever. And I was like, all right, shit. Well, I'm going to have the fucking Crispy Boys in the building. Shit. All right. And then Mike was like, hey, I think I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? He was like a few days later. And I was like, bet. I got super excited then, man. Because like, I knew if I would have went into it by myself, I don't think even having the same reaction and everything, I don't think I would have been excited still as like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Without
I
you or
agree.
whatever.
I agree.
Like, because I think that I don't know, I pretty much feel like we have our own comedy scene now.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people that want to like do that shit with us. We got a lot of good feedback.
Yeah, a lot of people said, hey, yeah, I want to do it now. I've been writing things for years. I mean, I even... like a little notepad, kind of like a docket. My own personal, just, hey, this is funny. Let me make a note of this.
Yeah.
And it's so, I've been doing that list for so long, in fact, that some of the things that I have on there that I haven't removed are dated. One of my jokes on there was even something about, because I wouldn't put complete thoughts. I'll just say, like, here's something that's kind of awkward in society. Make a joke of this later. So one of the things that I wrote, one of the notes that I had was, how awkward would it be, walking in on somebody taking a picture of themselves for MySpace?
Right.
Now it's called selfies, and not only does everybody do it and they're socially acceptable, it's a big part of society today with all these different filters and lenses and shit like that. But
yeah, see, if you would have did that shit like fucking 12 years ago, like
yeah, exactly.
shit,
And that's
been like, oh shit, he predicted like the Simpsons did it type shit.
Simpsons did it. Yeah, just get out there and do it. I think that was kind of I think that's what we both at the end of the night felt like. Hey, just get out there and do it
all the time. Like I'll have an idea or like a joke or some shit like that, and then like someone will say it like more famous than me, and I'll be like, or do it first. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when
they have the platform, so everybody hears the idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know about your preparation. For me, I mean, I had a list of all those notes,
right.
and I took pieces of it that I was like, all right, these can kind of connect, you know, because I talked about a range of things. I talked about married life, talked about having a dog, I talked about, you know, being a child of divorce, you know, all in like a 5-minute span, but I wanted to kind of tie it all together so it all flowed.
Right.
And so that's what I did a lot of yesterday, you know, because I was like, you know, well, yesterday meaning Thursday, recording this Friday, but
you had a callback, which is good because a lot of people don't think about getting that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I felt it'd be important if I could. I didn't want to force it, but if I could find a way to bring it back, and I looked at it.
It wasn't shitty. You know what I'm
saying?
Something just like, you know, you just like everyone says every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you like, yo, you flipped it on them. Man.
And it's funny because at first I was like, on the flip side, and I was like, that's a little bit more specific. Like, not everybody uses that.
Right.
Plus, you could stretch out on the other hand, and it kind of buys you that time for like they can laugh, you know, it buys you that kind of like a pause without pausing.
Right.
You're just stretching it. But it was really cool. I mean, seeing like the different styles. I was nervous. I like the day of, like when I was putting my list together, I was nervous and I was sitting here like, man, I got to get my mind off of this. Walk the dog.
Right.
Whole time I'm walking the dog, I'm thinking about it. I get back here, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, how do I psych myself up? So I'm just listening to like good music to get my mind right.
Yeah.
And then at one point, you know, we're driving up, and then as I'm pulling up, I'm there. We're in it. There's no backing out now, so it just kind of like faded away.
Nah, I knew as soon as I hit the fucking group chat, like I was like, oh fuck.
Once we were there and we showed up, I was like, all right, no backing out now. I'm not gonna be a bitch, but
well, the thing that got me like when I like really knew I was in it was like I hit you guys like I think on Monday, some shit like that. I think it was Monday, and
think so.
And that night, after like a few hours after I like told you guys that y'all were all down and shit, like everybody confirmed, you know what I'm saying, like that we were gonna be there, I was like, yo man, let me just take it to the next level. I invited like almost like everyone that I knew like that would respond to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, yo, if you around, just, you know what I'm saying, like I'm doing it. Like fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, just, you know, like I don't know, to like have support, you know, like fuck it, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a bum, I don't want to bum in front of, like, people that don't know me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, then, like, you know, I really know that, like, you know, I'm shit, you know?
Right.
But, like, I didn't at all, because there was a shitload of people there. Like, I mean, we drew probably 50% of the crowd, but, I mean, it was a good 25 of the people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. I was really proud of myself. I wasn't nervous at all. I had like a little bit of anxiety when I was on the way back from Dallas. We drove back from Dallas.
Yeah, like, that was about the same time I was having that anxiety.
6 o'clock. I got back at 6 o'clock, bro. As soon as I got home, hopped in the shower, nigga caught an Uber around like 7 o'clock or whatever. I got there around 7:30. You know.
Once we showed up, the anxiety was gone, and then at that point, it wasn't necessarily being nervous, but more like, look, I don't think either one of us thought at that point we would bomb. And I was sitting here thinking, okay, I could be good or I could be like really good. Well, I know
I'm funny looking, so I always get ass. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Well, I was like, look, I could be good or this could be really good. Now, granted, it's both our first time, so there's going to be, you know, choppiness. But I thought we were actually very...
Bust that hymen, you know what I
mean? I thought we were both pretty...
We did an expedition.
We had some... We knew the sport, you know. We knew some of the moves at least, you know, like the timing.
Of comedy,
so we didn't look like rookies. I don't feel like. I mean, I'm not saying we look like pros. I don't want to sound like we're full of ourselves, but I feel like we kind of knew what we wanted to do when we went in, And we each had
It
a
was
very
like
different style, you know.
I kind of like compared to like a skate competition, cause like a skateboarding competition, because you can enter an amateur skateboarding competition just because like you know how to like skate, like you just skate on the street or whatever all day, you know,
Right.
and like you could place in that shit, you know. So I felt like it was kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done skating, so I can't
Nah,
relate on that.
I've never
but like,
I've never.
I feel you on that though. Like, it's
or whatever, but that's
it's
what
even
I can
like
compare it to.
even like pickup ball. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm by far the best player. Like, you don't want to play with like a bunch of kids. You know, there's no competition.
I do this shit all the time. Hell yeah, that's my
working
shit
on
right
your
there.
working on your post
Yeah,
moves.
matter of fact, shit, when Jonah was painting Chase mural and shit, that's how I was working Kel the whole time. Him and my neighbor, my barber, I was working his ass.
Little
Shout out to Hawk,
kids.
boy, he got the business. I ain't gonna lie, he beat me a horse 4 times, bro.
Hey, kids are good at that shit.
No,
though.
Hawk, grown
Hawk.
X-Man. He beat me 4 times.
Veteran savvy. On the other side of the coin, though, you've got, if you're playing, let's say you're playing ball, and the competition is way too high, and you're out there, you're happy just to have gotten a rebound.
Yo,
That's no
like
fun
that
either.
One shot.
Yeah, that's no fun either. You want to be right in the middle. Like, okay, this is my playing ground. You know, people are about my skill set.
And see, that's like the first time I went. I'm not gonna lie, like the improv shit, like it was all right, but I was like, these guys, like they seem like they, you know, like do this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like weekly. Like this is like the type of shit that they do. And then when we went to Secret Group, by the time I got there, like I was wasted as fuck. I don't even remember. I thought we walked there. That's just like 2 opposite sides of town, bro. Ask Alan. I thought we walked there, bro. Like, but shit, we went there and I was like, all right, I was wasted, so I didn't really remember shit. But then the next time we went, like, it was just like, oh fuck, these people like just like me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just people that be in the fucking bar and get drunk and shit all the time, like just talking shit. So I felt like I could do it. And I had, after we went on Saturday, I had started writing like, I think I had like one joke or some shit like that, and they were just like one-liners type shit. But then like I started to like build on them throughout the week. You know I don't be doing shit, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I like to sit and think about it, like, you know, like I said, like the occupation, the lie about your job shit, you know, that came from like me thinking like, yo, like Super Mario is a fucking plumber,
Right.
but you ain't never seen this nigga like fix a toilet or no shit
Right.
like that. He ain't got no van. He just taking mushrooms and, you know what I'm saying, kidnapping
That
bitches
shit
and
was
toxic
funny.
relationships. So like I just like, I don't know, like that was just a thought, like literally, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, that's funny, you know what I mean?
Like an observation. Yeah.
like, so put it on paper and just like go with it, because people laugh at it.
It is funny. Like we had
I laugh
different.
at myself all the time.
Oh,
like,
I laugh
people,
at myself all the
people
time.
think I'm
too.
crazy and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like it's like, I don't know, like sometimes you gotta get those thoughts out. Like, I think all, like, you know what I'm saying, people that are kind of like cut from like a comedic cloth, you know what I'm saying, like kind of have like the gift of gab. Like,
Well, I've said before, I feel like the key to happiness, just for any human, you have to have some kind of creative outlet. Like if that's your podcast, that's drawing, that's writing, whatever it is, I think it's important to have some kind of creative outlet. So if you have creative thoughts, I think it's just a pro tip.
right.
Hey, take notes. Write the shit down. You don't have to necessarily do anything with it immediately, but hey, look, I've had some of those notes in there for, like I said, like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think I really used any of the ones the other night that were from that, but I still see some material I think I could put together, you know?
Word.
So, I mean, it was a lot of fun, though. It was, once you're up there,
that shit was fun.
That was a high.
And I felt
That
like
was a high,
everyone
man.
that, like, literally everyone that I was with could have done a fucking set, bro.
Yeah.
And like, like everybody that was like fucking there, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like just hilarious. Like, especially like all the crispy boys, man. Like, fucking, I think like Jamal would get up there and kill, bro. Like,
I think so, yeah.
Jack, fucking Alan. Like, I know Alan's done it before, like, you know, like years ago, like, you know, but he's only done it one time, like, you know.
Yeah.
So we're all like kind of at the same level too. Like, now,
I think Gary could go up there and do like the dad angle.
bro, for shit show, and he was in the fucking like army and shit. Too,
Yeah.
you know, like, so that's
Navy, yeah.
something to talk with it. Oh shit, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, like, I mean, everybody got their own like angle. So like, that's what's good about comedy, because it's like it's really just telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you just kind of like said. I mean, I don't know. The truth is funny sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's really just that. That's
You're
what
pointing
it is.
out like observations.
Yeah.
Like, you ever notice this shit? You know, because a lot of what I've heard, you know, from I don't know stand-ups that just kind of talk like very micro level with it is
Shit. Like
it's all about
commonality.
surprise. Like laughing, you know, comedy a lot of time is surprise. You know, it's like something that you're not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if something's boring, it's kind of like, all right, predictable, all the same jokes, all the same beats, all that kind of shit. Whereas if it catches you off guard out of nowhere, you're like, wait, what? What did you say?
Yeah.
So that's a big element to it. You know, I think that's why like the callback for me was important because it is kind of a surprise. Like, oh shit,
Okay,
he brought it back. You know.
But so yeah, I mean, the callback always works. You know what I'm saying? If you find you a good one, like it always works. Especially because if you can tie all that shit together, like I mean, you're pretty much a good writer. You know?
Yeah.
So like. I mean, that you'll say like you. I believe you killed that shit. Like I was like dying.
Thank you.
Like, I was dying out there, man.
I mean, I wanted to go into it like we talked about. I'm more long-winded, you know, and I have like stories, and it was more of a couple stories that tie together, that you know had like the punchline at the end that wrapped it all together.
Yeah.
I feel like your style was more like you said, like making observation, not necessarily one-liners. But, you know, like jokes, a compilation of jokes, you know?
Right.
And that's how you kill. Because there was that old dude, too. I'm pissed that I didn't catch his name.
Shit, his name was
Man,
Andy. His name was Andy.
Okay. He was doing like the one-liners, like the old man one-liners.
Yeah.
I was dying, man. I was dying laughing.
Yeah, I was in the green room, bro. That's when I had my fucking B-Rabbit moment. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Mom Spaghetti. When we were going up the stairs, that was all I could think of, Mom Spaghetti.
For real. Yo, I like fucked up. I didn't hear like the dude. Like I don't know why, but I like couldn't hear him like and shit. Like I thought he like said my name and shit. I like walked out there and shit. He like, hey, I ain't call you yet. So that shit was funny. And, you know what I'm saying? And like, man, but thank God though, because like right before he did, he talked for like maybe like a minute more, or whatever. Like this lady, damn, her name was Nyla or some shit like that. Or damn, I don't know. If I go on Saturday, I'll see her again or whatever, because she said she'll be back. But she had a fresh bowl, you know what I'm saying? A salad right there for me, you know?
Salad.
And shit, I was just like, yo, like, I swear to God, she had just packed that shit. Like, I greased that shit. I was like, yo, can I please hit that shit before I go on, please? Because I already had me like 2 crispy rolls, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was just like, yo, let me mellow it out, you know? Like, so I can slow it down.
The more I drank, the easier it got. Like, there was a point when my brother came.
Yeah.
I had enough drinks in too to where my confidence was good, and then I saw my brother and I was like, he looks up to me. Hey, no bullshit. I have to do this. I have to kill it. You know.
Well, shit, my mama was there. I had to make my mama proud.
You know you did. You did. But they enjoyed it, man. They were laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Her and Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit was fun, bro. I feel like Emily could have done that shit.
Oh, for sure. Like no doubt.
Yo, Emily got kicked out.
Yeah.
So yo, man, that's how much fun we had, and like we was deep as fuck. Like that shit was crazy. It was good times, man.
Posse. It's all about building a good team. You know, like
Yeah.
that's what's good about when I say team. You know, the group of people we hang around. There's a difference in just, you know, putting together a bunch of people and then putting together a bunch of people with common interests, common goals. Right. You know, like, hey, this is where we're going to be.
Creatively. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's a super plus. If you can, you know, like, get a bunch of creative people, like, around and, you know, like, just like a group of friends.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got a conglomerate. Right
conglomerate,
there.
yeah.
You know, like
hell yeah.
You got the commission, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, man.
Shit,
but,
man. You want to get into the docket? We got a couple of things on the docket.
What you got, man?
All right, well, first off, I have to share this. You can't really see it, obviously, if you're listening. This, I don't know how, but these pictures of Ben Roethlisberger surfaced from some awards. Boys got a backwards Jordan fitted, a big green jersey, some big gold chain, a blazer,
tripping,
jeans with the stonewash in the front, and what appears to be
2003.
Yeah.
It's gotta be 2003.
It's somewhere around there,
It
right?
gotta be.
And he's got
It's a
some white
2003
forces.
Yeah. Oh, for shit. 01 to 03 fit right there.
Yeah,
For
for sure.
Hell yeah.
That one
Like,
caught
what
my
the
eye. I had to share
fuck?
that. Like, who mans is this?
Yo,
Big Ben.
like, that nigga probably like 30, 40 years old, like in that picture.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, why the hell he look like that shit?
I don't know, man. Hey, so one of the things I wrote on the docket from weeks ago that
Yeah.
we didn't get to, but I'm like, now we can actually get into because it's pretty timely. I wrote down video game progression versus cell phones.
What you
I
mean?
think the thought that I had when I wrote this down was think about how advanced video games have gotten over the last 10 years, over the last 5 years versus cell phones, which I feel like camera gets a little bit better, chip makes it a little bit faster, internet in theory should be
like,
faster.
increments and shit. Like I said, we've
Yeah.
been stuck in like for like 10 years.
You have it.
For real.
Video games are different though. Look, so we were just playing Force Unleashed, or not Force Unleashed, Fallen Order,
Yeah.
the new Star Wars Fallen Order.
For hours.
Hours. Man, so I go, all right, man. I think it was about 2 p.m. I go, hey, once we beat this mission, this level, this planet, like, we'll go, like, that's it. We're done. Like, we'll start recording. What, 4 hours later?
We still not done.
Yeah.
We only got like 37% of the like planet explored and
Insane.
like 75% of the shit done
In
on that
4
planet.
hours of doing
That's
shit.
just one level.
Yeah. I'm doing shit. Running around, climbing through into all these, hidden areas
Man,
and
this shit, all
unlockable
kind of
shit.
labyrinths and shit like that. Yo, that shit's wild. That shit's way bigger than like.
It's so entertaining, but man, like you look at think about the first Star Wars games that came out for like Super Nintendo.
Them shits was shit. I mean,
Man,
them shits was trash.
Man.
They had like Star Wars games that came out on like Atari and shit like that. Matter of fact, I watched this dude on YouTube named the Angry Video Game Nerd, and he plays all these old ass games and just makes shit jokes, like literally, like. But he's like the funniest nigga, bro. Like this nigga, he'll play like literally like Star Wars games. He'll play them from like the time like the first one came out to like, you know what I mean, like however, you know, like say he'll go up to like the PlayStation 2 era or something like that because he tries to play like old ass games. But like, man, it's funny how, because I was literally just watching that shit like last week. Like that shit came a long way. Like
like the
long ass
8-bit
way.
games where you're just jumping up and down. Like the
Yeah.
challenge is basically jumping from one thing to the next. This fucking game, you're swinging on ropes, running on walls, climbing up vines. What?
Yeah, that shit is wild, man. It's crazy to think like 15 years ago, bro, we had like San Andreas. You know what I'm saying? Remember how epic that was?
Hey, that's just still though.
That shit
Like,
is still epic. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still play that shit.
Hell yeah.
I'll restart that game and like beat it in a day.
what was
That's
it?
my
Grand
favorite
Theft Auto 5 was the last one, right?
Yeah, that shit's been out since 2013.
Man, that game, like just the map,
Yeah.
bro. Like I'd be like, dude, I'd get like so. I have a commute every day when I drive to work.
Yeah.
I have a fucking commute on Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, man, like
Yeah.
you have to drive 20 minutes to get from one place to the next. You're sitting here like, man, I got it out of. I'm on video game to escape real world stresses, and yet I'm still dealing with
Oh no,
fucking
man.
traffic on there.
What you should see is fucking like GTA RP, which is role play. Well, it's like these dudes, they'll get in this server. So it'll be like, say, like 50 players in a server or whatever. They'll either play like say 25 of them will be police, 20 of them will be police, and
Ooh,
the
I've
rest
heard
of
of this
them
shit.
will be like citizens or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of whoever you want to be. If you want to work at the fucking store, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like there's a guy that works at the store, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or there's just like civs, like, you know, like that say be like, this is my house and like shit like that, and they'll like literally live their life in Grand Theft Auto,
Like
or
The Sims?
Like they will role play whatever the fuck they want to do in Grand Theft Auto, but like the cops
Shit.
are real. Like they're like serious. Like that's like the
Try to, like-
one serious job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the motherfuckers, they like will pull you over, write you tickets and all kind of shit. I mean, it's all like bullshit. Like they just
Right,
they're literally
right.
just role playing, but like, you know, like they try to keep it real as fuck. I watched these dudes named Bay Area Bugs and Polecat, like, and some other dude named Jeff and shit. That funny as shit, bro. You can watch that shit for hours, like
Shit's
because they
nuts.
like just get into like the dumbest shit, you know. And it's like they know like the laws too because they play both sides. Actually, I think they like are the type of people that like you know, like run the servers type shit. So like I mean, I don't think they posted it on. Well, I think Polecat still posted shit, but like that shit is just crazy. How like people will literally like live a life that they will live in the world, but like
That's
sit at
some
home on the
Matrix
couch.
shit. That's some meta.
That really is, bro. That's some like crazy meta shit, man. That is like the Matrix.
What do you think that is? Like, why do you think that fascinates us?
Well, I think it kind of started with like in the era of The Sims and Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was like with Grand Theft Auto, you had two opposite sides of the spectrum. With Grand Theft Auto, you could be a fucking criminal or whatever. And this was planted at us during our adolescence. You know what I'm saying? We were like 10, 11 years old when that shit came out. You know, like massively. You know, when it got real popular. And I mean, you could be a criminal in Grand Theft Auto type shit, and then you could be like, you could have a family, you know, on The Sims, a house, and, you know, manage all that shit. So, like, I don't know, it just kind of bred a whole bunch of people, you know, to, like, literally live in a fantasy world, but that's, like...
It's nuts.
Real.
I played The Sims a lot when I was younger, but again, I think that was kind of like...
I remember that was like the best thing.
It was, because you'd be like, oh, I'm going to try to make a baby, because you're like a kid, you know, so shit's funny, you're like 10 years old. But the reason I liked it, maybe for like the artsy side of it, was just kind of laying out like the house.
Yeah.
You know, like decorating. Yeah, that was what I liked about it.
Show. I used to play that shit type shit, Roller Coaster Tycoon, like shit like
that.
Yeah. Roller Coaster.
Sim City. Remember you do Sim City and it gets like the future, like flying cars and shit.
Hell yeah, man. Like, yo, it's crazy how far video games came, man. Like I said, like even in our lifetime, like, you know, because like I said, we like the video game babies. You know what I mean? Because like we were born and shit. Like Super Nintendo had just came out. You know?
Yeah, I still have it.
Like I mean that shit. Actually, I think regular Nintendo was like it was like 86, right?
Somewhere in that.
Super Nintendo was like 89.
Somewhere around there.
I know Game Boy for shit show was 89.
I remember Game Boy.
Because I had a big fat one, bro. It was like the size of this interface.
Yeah,
you
I
know
remember that.
saying?
Yeah,
like,
it basically was. Like save
crazy.
this much, but about the same. Like,
I had a black one too. It looked just kind of like this.
Game Boy was fun.
Yo,
you know what trips me out? You ever see like I never got into computer gaming really. It's just like
nah, me neither.
I like holding a controller, but I know there's like people that love that shit. But one of the things that I'm like, man, one thing that could get me doing that is if I could learn how to do all like the mods. You ever see like Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, that's what
like
the
that
RP is.
Yeah,
it's they're just modded servers.
Right, right.
So
I want to get into that shit and do the ones where they have like Iron Man and like Thanos in the game. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Man, that shit is nuts. That's what I would like to play. Like
get you a PC.
Sandbox, I guess,
sandbox,
you know?
yeah.
Just like go in, make your own world.
But yo, if they have like some type of online play for this fucking
Battlefront?
I'm talking about
I don't think this one does Fallen Order, but I think Battlefront does.
Nah.
Well, of course it does, but I think that's out soon, right? Or is it already out, Battlefront?
I don't fucking know. I really haven't followed Star Wars games in like a long time, but like shit, sitting here today, like playing with this shit with you, like I said, we were playing this shit.
Man, Star Wars, it's funny. Star Wars, I feel like it's kind of bringing me back. It's kind of bringing me back, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
Like I didn't really like the only new generation Star Wars movie I've liked has been Rogue One. Like, I don't know why, bro. I've really not liked any. I kind of liked where they were going with Episode 7, but I feel like they fucked up at Episode 8. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The thing for me, 8 felt like an ending. Like, I feel like you could have just said, okay, it ends here. You got Rey, she's doing her thing. You got Kylo, he's doing his thing. 9, I mean, it closed a lot of, plots, like plot holes. Like, it closed a lot of.
Opened a lot of more.
It opened up like a lot of questions on like how did that happen, but it didn't necessarily.
Can you talk about it without necessarily giving spoilers?
Yeah.
Alright, because I mean, well, even for the audience, I don't give a fuck really. I'll go see it still. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've always been a Star Wars fan.
It's still fresh. I'll keep it spoiler free. So the knock on it, that I always hear is there's a lot of fan service, which I get. That's kind of annoying sometimes.
Always give fan service.
It's
though.
a fiction, so I'm like, hey, yeah, like fan service is why we're here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Give us the fan service,
Yeah.
you know.
For sure.
There definitely was kind of an abrupt, like Palpatine's involvement.
Yeah.
That's not really too much of a spoiler because you see it in the trailer that he's in the trailer.
I mean, that shit's pretty much out.
There's really not much of an explanation. So that I guess is one kind of spoiler. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, he's here now. Okay, let's get going. And I mean, I won't get into the details of what that means exactly. So that part I understand is kind of like, all right, well, you could have done more with that. But again, I went in with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was entertaining. I thought the fan service that it did have wasn't like cheesy fan service. It was like cool stuff that you kind of wanted to see. There was one kind of cheesy part at the very, very end.
All right, so like when the fan service came or whatever, like did it actually like make you smile and make you like kind of like like cheer?
Yeah,
not cheer, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
it gave you that like nostalgic feeling.
It lifted me up. Yeah, I was like, man, that's kind of cool. I was like, I wanted to see that, and it's here, Okay,
that's good. I fucks with it.
And I'm trying to think, like, the story itself, whatever, like
I said,
okay.
they lost me in 8, so I wouldn't even watch it for the story. I'll kind of just watch it for like the action and shit like that.
And that's kind of what I did, And hey, end of the day, I enjoyed it. It. I wouldn't really have changed much. I thought every character. The one thing I will say that was lacking, they didn't really have good humor. They had times where they tried to have humor, but it really just didn't. It didn't really work out.
You know what? I've never liked Star Wars' humor. I don't think it should ever be like kind of humorous.
They have missed. They have Jar Jar Binks. They've had a lot of major misses.
In the original trilogy, think about like it wasn't like kind of the comedy wasn't pushed. Like you had like little like one-liners and shit like
Han
that.
Solo, like I love you, I know. It's kind of like
It's like no, that's that make you think type shit.
Yeah,
like, it's not like he's trying to be funny. You know what I mean? Like with Jar Jar Binks was just a goofy character, but I think that the fans fucked up with Jar Jar Binks because it was supposed to be deeper. Like, actually, Jar Jar Binks was really supposed, like, he wrote him out. You know what I mean? But, like, Jar Jar Binks was really supposed to be the one that was, like, pulling the strings.
That wasn't really supposed. That's like a fan theory that he's like a Sith Lord, but that's not.
I'm saying it was going in that direction, but like George Lucas like changed his mind because like the fans hated Jar Jar Binks, so maybe he was like, "Oh, this is a stupid shit idea." But I think really that he was going with that shit at first. I love Jar Jar Binks, by the way.
Yeah, I mean the actual writing for Jar Jar Binks was bad. I mean the accent and the character itself was kind of cheesy, but the writing for Jar Jar was the real problem for me. Like it just wasn't like there was no funny punchline. But I think
they made him so ridiculous in that first movie because they wanted to fucking get you. You know what I'm saying? But like. It's like by episode
I don't
3.
know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Man, I'm telling you.
I'll say this though.
Should have kept it going with that. I'd love to.
It would have tripped me out. It would have tripped me out. That okay? One spoiler: Jar Jar Binks is not in episode 9.
Fuck. Damn.
But no, I mean, it doesn't need to have outright humor. It doesn't need to be funny. It doesn't need to make me laugh. But like the attempts at humor were really bad. Not cheesy, just like duds. The only person I thought was kind of I wouldn't say bad, but Oscar Isaac I thought could have been way better. And I don't think it was his. I think he performed. Yeah. Right. I don't think he performed bad. I think they wrote him poorly.
His character is actually shit.
It's a really weird character, yeah.
Like, at first I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. But then I'm like, this guy's kind of dumb.
He's not really needed for the plot at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, first of all, he had discount Han Solo.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, and then you got Black Han Solo with Finn. Like, he's pretty much Black Han Solo.
Okay, I think that with that, too, that they were going in another direction with Finn in the first movie or in episode 7 than they were by episode 8 because they changed writers and shit.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact that they were going in a different. So
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because they just pretty much made them the same character.
I will say this: with all the work that Abrams had cut out for him to tie up all the loose ends from 8 and all that kind of shit, I thought he did a pretty nice job. I think he did as good of a job as you can with all of that. Right. But yeah, I mean, Finn, like they kind of show he has a lot of just like weird feelings. Like, I have a feeling. They're like, why? He's like, I don't know. So you could interpret that as maybe he's Force sensitive, which I don't think would be too surprising.
I thought
they never outright say it, but they kind of
did he like use the lightsaber in episode 7. He was like
he used it, and here's the one thing I have with Star Wars too is that like the lore constantly changes. To my memory from the original trilogy, you pretty much, well, I mean, I was gonna say you had to have the Force to wield a lightsaber, but Han Solo cut open that thing in the beginning of episode 5.
Well, maybe everybody got a little bit of Force in them.
Well, it is, and that's the other thing too. The whole mythos around the Force constantly changes. People were pissed from the new trilogy because it was all metachlorians, you know, and it's an actual living form within people. Right. And then it was okay, there's Force really everywhere.
Didn't need to be explained.
Yeah. You know, and then I think, was it Rogue One kind of explained like it's like in everything to a certain degree or something like that.
Like protons or some shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's like a lot of, I don't know, a lot of inconsistencies with what the Force is and what it's not.
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of inconsistencies with this trilogy. So that's why I've been like,
But the reason I come back to it, though, is... I
mean, I like Star Wars.
I've always liked the lore.
I like the lore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I listened to this 45-minute video that, like, literally, it was, like, the entire... Like,
did I send you that one?
No. I watched this, like, maybe 7-8 months ago.
It might have been the same video.
It's the same video. I think it is. It's like the complete, like, timeline.
Cartoons and everything, too.
It's like
cartoons are cold. That's the thing. Like, I like the universe. I like the lore. Like we've said before, we've said it on this podcast. The movies, I've enjoyed most of them. I honestly have. Most of them. But a lot of them, too, that just have been so bad and have failed to really just carry the narrative that always just... I feel like they disappointed.
My favorite's still episode 3.
That's like my least favorite.
For real?
I just feel like you had such an easy opportunity to make Anakin / Darth Vader the coldest, bloodiest person ever if he fought and defeated Mace Windu. Like the game. Yeah. That's why I'm like, and he kind of stole him, and like, that's how Palpatine shoots him out the window. Like,
but see, that's okay. So
he didn't kill anybody, and then he kills the younglings, kids, and it's like that's how he's like hardcore. I'm like,
yeah, the fight scene with Mace Windu was whack. But I don't know. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson couldn't move like that. You know what I mean? They didn't want to like CG it to shit. That was 2006. You know what I mean? So, I thought my least favorite is actually 7, but I thought 2 was shit.
I like 7.
Oh, not 7. I'm sorry. 8.
8.
Yeah, but I thought 2
I didn't think
shit.
8 was too bad. Everybody hated 8. I didn't think it was too bad. But I know I'm in the minority there. I know most people hated it. And this one got a really low Rotten Tomato meter, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining.
I don't really look at that shit. I'll watch a movie.
Because they'll give like high grades to shit like the Marigold Hotel and shit like I don't even know what the fuck it's about. That win like awards.
Yeah.
That play kind of more like plays than actual movies.
Budapest Hotel. Though.
That one.
That movie go hard.
Oh,
bro.
So that one's good?
That's actually a good movie, bro.
I haven't seen that one.
That's actually a really good movie. I think you'd like that shit.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
All right, you have something on the docket about the Ultimate Bay. I think Joy Taylor would be disappointed.
You know what? She may be disappointed, man. But I don't know. I think Joy's funny or whatever. But man, I think Hi, My Name Is T is fucking hilarious, man. That's like Dream Bay for real. Cause she's fun as fuck too.
Bro, T is
like,
pretty fun. Yeah.
She is, and like I heard she started doing stand up.
What?
Yeah, out in LA or whatever. Like that's a scene that I would love to go. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like it's like a waiting list for like weeks.
Yeah, I bet.
Like Man, I would love to do that shit. But yeah, I think that she is ultimate bae. She is bad. T, holla at me.
Now you can like stuff freely.
Yo, yeah, that's like the best feeling in the world, bro. Yo, and you know what is fucked up? It's like fucked up my algorithms and shit like that. So anytime I'm scrolling, you know what I'm saying? It's just like tits, ass, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, some cute bitch. Like, you know, like, yo, speaking of cuties, shout out to the fucking Henry sisters. Katya, I think is her name, and Tanaya. Those motherfuckers is fine. One is thick, Katna, some shit. She like real thick, and the other one like skinny, but they are like beautiful. Like,
that is.
Y'all need to send me some clothes.
It is funny because I thought about this with.
Hey, mama fine too. I forgot that mama name.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Genetics are important. It's funny because we'll bitch all the time about social media and like, oh, I hate seeing this stuff on my feed.
Yeah.
But the algorithm goes off what you put,
Yeah,
you know?
it
So,
does.
like, you hating your own interests, you know?
But, like, I guess you would get tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you'll just get tired of, like, seeing the same shit. Like, I guess
Yeah.
if you, like, ate McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, all the time, like, you get sick of that shit, you know? Like, you
Right.
want to eat something else. Like, just period.
Or on the docket, you said these plastic Instagram.
Oh, yeah, see, okay, so at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So see how those are 3 different topics, bro, but totally polarizing. Yeah, I'm tired of the fucking plastic influencer bitches on the internet as well.
So give me some examples.
Okay, well, you know what's crazy? The examples that I wrote down are like my favorites, you know what I'm saying? Out of all the ones that, like, you know what I'm saying? They always like catch a like anytime I see them, you know what I'm saying? But like I put on here who I got. Fiona.bl, she fine. And I don't even think that they are like the plastic ones or whatever, but they just all look the same. You know what I'm saying? They literally all have the same look. You know what I mean? And I'm just tired of really, so I'm kind of giving you guys like a bad example with those, but I'm talking about all these girls that look the same, but like have gotten like the same like plastic surgeon. It's like
You said basically
the plastic surgeons are like, it's
Kylie
a playbook.
look.
Yeah, it's like the Kylie look or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like these dudes are just passing around like a playbook. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same. Like, oh yeah, this is like, it's a cheat sheet. You know? It's like, yo, this is how they want to look right here. You
the
know?
checklist. Hey, you got the ass. You got that plastic. You got the fake lips. You got the injections.
Yo, that's the worst.
I really don't fuck
That
with
is
injections.
The fucking worst.
You don't need it.
For real.
You don't
like,
need
that
it.
Is why? Like, that's not even. It looks nasty. It looks nasty.
I really don't get down with the injections. I don't, and like people like Botox. Oh, for wrinkles.
Yeah,
I don't give a
like,
shit about
no,
wrinkles.
Like, fuck that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I like natural.
Au
natural.
natural, man. Nothing like it, man.
Hey, but sometimes though, if they upgrade from, empty shelf to something a little bit more stacked,
Nice little.
I'm not gonna complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, if God didn't bless you, but you blessed yourself, hey, more power to you.
Yeah, you ain't gotta do that with the ass though. Please don't. You know what I'm saying? That's
no,
weird.
not at all.
That's just weird.
Well, it just looks weird.
Stop doing that shit.
Dude, that's so.
You got to stop doing that.
So
shit.
how
It's
common?
like
How
nasty.
common do you think it really is now?
Now? I mean, that's just super.
Like
common
1 out of
now.
5?
Uh,
Maybe not that common.
you know what? I'd say 1 out of 10. I'd say 1 out of 10 for sure.
And I feel like 10 years ago, did that even really? I mean, I'm sure it existed, but it wasn't like how it is now.
It was like 1 out of 200. 1 out of like 200.
I believe it. I believe it.
Not at all. I mean, for one, like, yo, be happy with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, because like, if like people are beautiful, no matter what the fuck you look like, how you look, everybody's different. Everybody's a fucking individual. You don't gotta like do shit like that. Spend thousands of fucking dollars to like put foreign objects in your body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To make you feel good. It's just gonna really make your body feel like shit and deteriorate even worse. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's just you wasting money, you wasting time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go on a fucking vacation. You know what I'm saying? For like a month or some shit. You know, spend that money right. You know, like buy a fucking car or some shit. You know, like, I don't know. Like, don't. That shit's just nasty.
You don't need it, yeah.
For real, you don't. Cause like it's women out here that's like, oh, and looking good. Yo, I don't know who needs to fucking hear this shit. Yo, But Martha Stewart would get it, bro.
Martha brings it.
Oh my goodness, she can cook too. You know what I'm saying? Got a good style and shit. She'll fix your house up, nice furniture and shit. Martha Stewart, I'm not gonna lie, that's top of the line right there, bro.
Martha's definitely in that like cougar pantheon, like near the apex.
Yo, nah, she's a dime for shit show. Martha Stewart.
She could, she take
smoked
care.
Blood. She been into the pen and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah, man.
Man, but that's like that federal prison where it's just like going to community college.
Camp Fed? Oh, yeah.
Camp Fed.
Hey, I bet you that shit tight.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I bet you that shit's dope.
I just feel like
Getting all
everybody
those
there.
connections and shit. It's like going to a fraternity and shit.
Get connections.
Yeah.
I bet you everybody there just
That's why
falls
you
into
gotta
the.
go fed, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do crime, bro, go do federal time. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like everybody there just like is like a little shit. Like it's not like they did anything like they killed anybody. They're like, oh, dude, you're a little shit. You're going to federal prison.
That dude, the nigga that bought that one Wu-Tang album, the Martin Scarelli nigga. He the one that like bought the like, AIDS medicine, and it was like I think this shit was like $13. No, it was like $10 a pill or some shit like. Oh, not $10 a pill. I'm sorry, like maybe like 10 cents a pill type shit like that. This nigga like spiked the price up like 1,300% type shit, and like now it's like 130 something like dollars a pill. So this dude's like a millionaire. He's just like a shit, like a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
And he like got caught for like embezzling, some white collar ass crime type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was like a dude. This dude was like probably like our age, like maybe like a couple years older than us. But he bought like Wu-Tang a few years ago. They put out one album. Like nobody's ever heard it, nothing. It's only one. He bought it. They like auctioned it out for like $1 million or some shit like that.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty fucking cool.
Or like I don't know. Actually, I could look up the figures or whatever, but it was like a shitload of money or whatever. But it was one album.
Wu-Tang needs to send a Don't At Me an exclusive album.
They do, man. Hey, I would love to like chill with like Meth and fucking Raekwon.
Yeah.
And
Ghostface Killer.
There's all them niggas in here pining, niggas. We just in here rolling woods. You know
Rolling woods.
Just I could just it'll be like that scene in Belly when they at the nigga grandma house counting money after the robbery and shit. Like
you gonna get yours,
I feel like one of them niggas will make like somebody strip. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Bro, so what is DMX doing nowadays?
I don't know, man, but DMX is a funny dude, man. That's one of my favorite rappers.
You can just YouTube DMX interviews and you'll find countless hours of entertainment.
Oh yeah, look up that nigga singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from a few years ago, bro.
Yeah,
He's like, I know the words. You know what I'm saying? That nigga really did.
Dude, man. DMX is so funny because he just always got that aggression.
Yo, you know what's one of my favorite scenes of like any movie? From that movie From Cradle to the Grave with him and Jet Li, and it's like he getting arrested or some shit like that, and like the plan's going bad, and Anthony Anderson's like in the country like oh sad and shit, and then like he break out some and like hop on like a fucking like a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
It's like X gonna give it to you, and then like they cut into like Jet Li like fighting a bunch of niggas in like a fight club type shit. So it's like those two scenes going on, but it's one of the best scenes of like any movie, bro. That's a good ass movie, man.
I missed, like early 2000 and like late 90s action films.
Always be in the same movies.
Always.
Like Anthony Anderson.
Romeo Must Die.
Fucking.
Anthony Anderson.
No, I'm saying like the same people. Like it'll be like DMX, Stevens. What's the guy? Tom Arnold and like Anthony Anderson.
Tom Arnold.
They would like always be in like the same movies and like Jet Li. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Steven Seagal, the one Exit Wounds.
Exit Wounds, yep.
Man, DMX has some fire movies.
Yeah, he stopped making them.
Yo, like, see, DMX should take Tyrese's place in saving the world, bro. Like, why is Tyrese always tasked with saving the goddamn world, man? I don't understand it.
I do not trust Tyrese
not
to
at
save
all,
the world.
Man. Like, not
He's
at
getting
all.
emotional at some point.
Yeah.
He's gonna be bitching about somebody having better conditions. Like,
yes, exactly.
Like, why you got a better car, man? It's like, dog, like we trust you the least. We're not gonna give you the superpower car. We're not gonna give you the gauntlet here.
That nigga's wild, man. I do not fuck with Tyrese, man. But
it's weird. Like, as much as we talk about Baby Boy as like a classic, like a hood legend movie.
It is. But he's a bitch.
Oh yeah, he completely exploits
Yeah.
himself in that.
Yeah.
Like he is a punk.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames is punking him all the time. Snoop,
Yeah.
Snoop talking about he's gonna light him up. He gets beat up by them kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember?
Hell yeah, he can be for sure. And they ain't even want his bitch ass bike. You know what I'm saying?
He calls his girl up. Baby, the Mexican stole your car.
Yeah.
She's
I
like,
stole my car, Jody. Oh my god, man. Yeah.
Was that her first movie?
I think maybe not
Like
her first
big
role,
movie?
but it was her. I think it was her first movie. Like,
She blew up after that.
yeah, she did. And like she's still been holding strong, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
know.
she's been mad constant, bro. Like you know what I'm saying?
I mean, not surprising,
Not
but just
surprising,
like
but it is
out of nowhere.
At the same
yeah,
time, it is like
because like the movies that she was putting out,
Yeah.
it wasn't like big mainstream movies.
It was like hood
Hustle and
movies.
Flow. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I missed that era of hood. Like there's the last good hood movie that came out was Next Day Air. Did we talk about this on the pod already?
Not Next Day Air.
Dude, no, that was a good, decent movie.
Wood
But
Harris,
that was
Mike
the
Epps.
last fucking hood movie. Like they all like in this decade, they've all been those shit like Madea, fucking movies.
Superfly,
yeah, and Superfly and shit like that. You know
Shaft.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they tried to bring Shaft back. That was actually a good movie. The first one, I mean not the first one, but the remake in 2000 with Samuel L. Jackson and Batman, Christian Bale, shit like that. He was the bad guy. And the dude from what was his name? Jeffrey Wright. He was People Hernandez and shit.
What?
Jeffrey Wright from Westworld. The
Damn.
dude, he's like in everything.
He's in a lot of shit now.
He's in every fucking thing. But
You see, they got a new Bond movie coming out.
yeah, I'm excited for that shit. Daniel Craig say it's his last time again. You know what I mean?
Come on, Craig.
Hey,
Come on, Craig.
Come on, Craig. Come on, Craig. Get up, Craig. Craig, get up. Whoop him. Whoop his ass.
When are they gonna put the next Friday out?
Man, Q, holla at me, man. He like,
I know we're
for
ready.
real.
We've been ready.
Like,
We've been
yo,
ready.
I've been ready for a new Friday, man. Like, please let's not do no reboots. Let's not do no recreations. No. Let's get it together.
If they were gonna do a
after
shitty
Pop's
reboot,
funeral, you know what I'm saying? We gotta get everybody back together.
Yeah,
You know?
damn.
You know, like, come on, man. I can write the script like tonight. You know what I'm saying? Cute.
Damn,
Holla
can you
at
make
me.
it without Pops?
Yeah, cause like you could always just have that
Old footage.
This is all.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day.
Dukes up, fists up. Yeah, they need to put another one out.
And that's a good way to bring back Smokey, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like come on, Q.
I feel like Smokey could be like
Pooh, holla at me.
sober,
Yeah,
but not necessarily like AA, like holding like a sobriety coin, but like trying to stay away from it.
yeah,
And then slowly like gets back into it.
yeah. Like by the climax of the movie,
Yeah.
Smokey gets high, and that's when all the shit starts going down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but, yo, Pooh, Q.
Come on.
Matt
It's
Alvarez,
the kidnappers again.
whoever was on that shit, yo, I would definitely watch a Wash sequel, bro.
I
The
know.
Wash is one of the like most like low budget
Budget as
movies.
hell. I
But
know.
it's really not low budget, bro. You got Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
they
And
made it, you know,
Yeah.
like so.
But like, yo, you know, if like the girl that was the receptionist in
Yeah.
that movie, if she in a movie,
Oh,
it's
man.
it's a ghetto movie.
It's a
Now,
ghetto
low
movie.
budget, it's low budget.
Low budget as hell.
Except she wasn't Baby Boy. She was P's girlfriend.
Ah, okay, yeah. Was she in any of the like next Friday or Friday after next? I feel like she could have been one of them.
Nah.
I've seen her in some other hood movies.
Nah,
though.
she in
Other
a lot of
low-budget
hood
shit.
movies, and they always the low budget ones and shit like that.
Straight to Netflix, straight to DVD, straight to Redbox.
Yo, why Craig? I always was getting in like situationships.
Yeah.
Craig like always got into like every movie he was in a different situationship. You know what I'm saying? Like
It was always the stupidest. Like next Friday was the biggest reach. He was like, "Hey, I'm a break into the house to go see her," or at least that's like how he played it off.
yeah,
Like when they stole the hydraulic with the cash, she's like,
yeah.
"I'm not afraid of your brothers. I want to come see you." She's like, "But you broke into the house like from the window."
Yeah.
Situationships. Well, I mean, because there are like pros and cons to situationships.
You think so?
plenty of pros
Actually,
because
plenty of pros.
there's no boundaries, right?
Is situationships just a new way to say like friends with benefits or like
I don't know.
platonic?
I think it's like you're dating somebody and they might be maybe exclusive, but they're at least like your number one. Like that's probably the one that you're dating the most, right?
Y'all just in an open relationships, like.
Well, but that's because nobody actually sat down to define it.
Ah.
Once it gets defined,
So it's an undefined open relationship. That's a situationship.
basically you haven't had a talk. You're not certain there's mutual exclusivity, I guess. That would probably be another factor.
So in layman's terms, it's an undefined. The definition is an undefined open relationship, a situationship.
Yeah, I guess you could say so.
Yeah. Damn, like shit. The more you know, we should have like a
Yeah.
like
Burr, burr, burr. Zoinks.
Yeah. We just got the goddamn facts
Educate
for
you.
him, man. You know what I'm saying?
Situation. I mean, but I guess it's kind of like you said, like in today's era, how many people are actually having that sit down like, hey,
They should.
what are we?
Motherfucker should. Well, not like the what are we's, but everybody should like let people know what their intentions or like you know. Isn't that what dads always ask? So, what are your intentions? with
Right.
my daughter? Yeah, like y'all should disclose those.
Just to make sure everybody's on the same page at the very least.
You have to. You have to because you could go as far as you want. You know what I'm saying? Or you could go for years without doing that, and then like it's bound to end. It's gonna end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do that shit. So if it has to be a situationship and not be known, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's a good limbo to be now that it's labeled. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we just got a situationship. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it's important.
Because that's like a good, like, you know what I'm saying? Stiff arm. You know what I mean?
Stiff arm.
Like, that's, hey, you know, situationship. Yo, dog, we giving y'all all the game tonight, man. We blessing y'all. Shit.
Bless you, yeah. It's important though. Communication's the key because it has to be like, hey, we're both in this situationship. Like, you can't have one thinking it's a relationship and then the other one thinking it's a situationship. Because I've witnessed that as a third party, and it's like, man, I don't think you know what's going on with this situation because you think that y'all are in a relationship. That's a fun one to watch from afar and not get involved in.
It happens. That shit happens every day. More than you know.
Oh yeah.
Too. Especially nowadays, man. People fucking weird, bro. Everybody's just fucking each other and shit like that. They don't know what they want.
It's funny because I feel like we have like more liberties and more things to do, but I feel like in a lot of ways, and we're more connected than ever.
Yeah, but
in a lot of ways, we're most lonely.
Yeah.
Most like I don't want to be around anybody.
Like people will be in the same room, just like looking at their phone. Like you know what I'm saying? Like not. Like I don't know. It's just that's just weird. Like I don't know. Like, me and you were like doing that shit like last night. Like we were about to like pass out and shit.
Yeah.
Because we were waiting on the fucking long ass game to like upload
Always.
and shit. We were trying to play 2K last night. I was trying to dust Mike ass, man. This shit took like
to be
hour.
continued.
That shit took like an hour
Really
to fucking
did.
load up. I was like, man, fuck that shit, bro. I'm gonna go to bed, nigga.
I don't know. I guess it's just that constant. It's like it's like smoking a cigarette. I guess it's like you're looking for that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
It's just a different version of it. You know, people in the same room smoking cigarettes or whatever. Not room. Probably.
But I mean, like usually
outside.
when you're like in the same room smoking the cigarette, you kind of talking. You can, you know, like you socializing. Like you know, like I mean, you could be smoking that cigarette and fucking looking at your phone,
right,
and being in the same room. You know what I'm saying? All three of those things could be happening at the same time. But like that's sad. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. Like it's just awkward.
I try not to. Like I mean, there are gonna be times like yesterday. We were together a lot of yesterday, so it's like, all right, we're just gonna look at this real quick.
Well, I posted my shit like my
that's true. The stand
and like people were just fucking steadily talking to me, type shit. You know what I'm saying? So like that was just complex. I mean, because that was the most traffic I got on my phone like in a long time, bro.
Yeah,
like one fucking like time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a window of time.
We just have to keep doing it. We got to post it all on the social and all that.
I don't know if I'm gonna go back next week. I may go next week to like watch or some shit like that. But I kind of want to like write some more shit so I can like kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably, and look, I'm speaking out of no experience here, but I feel like it's
Me
probably
too.
good to have about 7 minutes of material.
Yeah, I went
that
7
you can
minutes.
keep about 4 minutes of like really good, like
Yeah.
have let's say you have a 5-minute set, maybe have 7 minutes of material, and you can
Well,
kind of pivot
I
depending
think
on
you
the
really
room.
like, especially for like maybe us like amateurs. I probably think that it will probably be a good 10 to 15. Just so, well, I would say, depending on how good you are, like you could do maybe 5 of like just riffing, because like sometimes when like nights on is packed, it's like last night people go twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they'll like do the shit because they'll have more
Extra
than
material,
just, you know,
yeah.
they'll have extra material or whatever, because you know there's always like different times for different shows or whatever. But man, I think what we did last night was perfect. Like,
I
hey,
enjoyed it.
I think you went 5.5, no, like 6. You
The
went around
video,
6.
yeah.
My video
We both
for
got the
you
light.
Was the one for that my mom did for you was 5:47. I think mine was like 7:13 or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we both got the light. Once I got the light, I kind of wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I could have dragged some of those jokes out, but I was like, nah, I'll wrap it up. But I think it was probably about a full 5.5.
Yeah, nah, for sure, you got
You
a
know.
full 5.5.
But it's funny too because I have a lot of other material that I'm like, well, this might work for some crowds. It might not work at all.
Well, and that's another thing too. I was glad that we got there early. You know what I'm saying? So we can kind of read the crowd. Like I said, even though we drew like half the crowd.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like everyone else in there was like kind of there to see. You know what I'm saying? They homies too.
Right.
And it was like a few people that were just kind of there, just like passerbys. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably coming from like Eighth Wonder or some shit like that.
True.
But that shit was dope, man. I like that.
We'll
I like
definitely
that
be
scene.
back out there.
I definitely want to find some more spots too. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
I don't want to be like a club rat, you know, that one club rat.
Yeah, but I mean, it is important to keep crafting it, you know, because we both looked at the tape and we both think we killed, but there's a lot of room for improvement.
It's shitload.
Like,
man,
man, and that's exciting because you're looking at that,
that was
you're
just
like,
a little bit of drip, man. We got all this room for cream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was just a little drip of coffee. But shit, real talk, y'all can. I mean, I guess like we'll be at a bunch of open mics, man. So if y'all ever want to run to us, y'all catch us at like Secret Group. Just anytime it's like, you know, open mic.
we'll be giving out T-shirts and postcards, stickers.
Yeah, come see us for real. Tell us that you a part of the Don't Act Militia and do like the motherfucking salute and handshake, salute your generals and shit like that. And we got you on a tee. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you a little bit of merch. You know, y'all take some pictures and shit, sign some autographs and shit for you. You know, grab your girl booty, something like that. You know, whatever you want.
Depends
you know?
on what there's time for, you know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all come holler at us. Damn, this is a short episode. Hey, this is the first episode. It's been like me and you in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really like a 3-man pod now.
It kind of has been, right? Like a rotating guest.
Yeah.
So we've had Alan, Jamal, Gary, Jock, Antonio. Anybody I'm missing?
I don't think that's it.
Who are goals for next year? Obviously, everybody we mentioned to come back on.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be back. And I don't know, man. I got a lot of people actually just do hit
Curve.
me up today. Yeah,
Curve's gotta be next.
I gotta get my man Curve in here next. I gotta get my boy Marcus in here.
Brandon Scott still way overdue.
Brandon Scott way overdue, especially man, like, cause like you know basketball is about to really get like, you know what I'm saying, in the meat of the season. So like that's gonna be fun doing some shit with Brandon Scott. Lou, we about to get Lou in here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell us about that college life. We're gonna go do another remote out there.
Yeah, you know we have to get out there in January. We're gonna be littering with the not littering, but you know, loitering and littering our marketing all over the place.
Oh, for shit show, tearing that shit up. But yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of people have been telling me like that they want me to come to Cali too. So I don't know.
Special episode.
We may take this thing on the road. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not against it.
I don't know, man. We'll just see. We'll see. See, Texas.
See. See.
Yo, shout out to the dude Ivan.
Yep.
He was from El Paso. It was like the first nigga we met. The nigga looked like Discount The Rock.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, he was like
Vin regular.
Yeah.
Vin unleaded.
Yeah. Yo, straight up, man. But that dude was cool, man. Shout out to him. He from your hometown. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
El Paso.
He said that Uncle Larry owed him money.
Uncle Larry, what's up, man?
Yo, it's crazy because we believed him. We was like, yo.
It's like, how? Tell me. Uncle Larry would be like, "Oh, fucking kick his ass." Never even seen him.
Yeah. Put that cane out of his ass.
Dude, Uncle Larry. Hey, you know what? We go back out there with some stand-up material. We probably could fill at least 5 minutes just talking about Uncle Larry stories.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh my gosh.
I believe Uncle Larry could get out there and just get
Mikey. Uncle Larry,
You
what are
don't
you
know.
talking about? I remember I realized for sure that he was crazy whenever he like sprained his leg or whatever, messed his leg up. He's like, "Mike, I wish you broke your leg." I was like, "What?" He's like, "All the girls are talking to me now that I have a broken leg. I hope you break your leg so you can see too." I'm like, it doesn't work that way, Uncle Larry.
Yo.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yo, what was funny though, man? Like, we pulled up to that Albertsons that one time, and this nigga whipped that big ass fucking expedition. It was like the XLT. That nigga whipped that shit into the handicap shit and like pulled out his like little tag, put it on the like rear view, got out and flipped out his cane, bro. That was like the funniest shit I ever
Just
seen.
like all in one motion.
Yeah. Like, that shit was crazy, man. And then he was going to slap the fire out of motherfucking Richard Pryor.
I know, Richard Pryor wasn't ready for it.
Man. He sure was. And the fucking Indian dude that was praying for us.
Yeah.
He was like, "Nam ya ha denge kyo, nam ya ha denge kyo." And the nigga was like, "What, bitch? You calling the chance of
This is America." We're like, he's speaking Native American, like, languages. That's about as American as it gets, brother. He wasn't having it.
Hell no.
But nah, we'll be keeping the mobile studio going. It's been pretty concrete lately, not very mobile.
We take this shit anywhere.
But we will take it back on the road.
We'll pull up on you. You know what I mean?
But yeah, get at us. We're on Twitter @podcast @me, on Instagram @therep.network. Hey, and check out Play It By Ear. We've got a couple of episodes out already. We're gonna keep putting those out. Get a little bit more into the shits with some of our top favorite artists, all that kind of jazz. That one's on Twitter @podcast by ear.
We got some artists actually gonna like come through.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. You know, because they've been wanting to get on.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man. It's like we started this shit as just like a hobby.
Yeah.
And like people take us serious. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
I'll take it, man. I think we got
too.
some good stuff to offer. We've got
For
some
sure.
good advice from our, look, I don't know everything.
We always be dropping dimes, you know?
Yeah.
Not dropping dimes, dropping jewels. I don't be dropping dimes, you know what I'm saying?
We don't know everything, but we feel like we've seen a lot of shit. We've experienced a lot, figured out how to get through it all. Look, we did fucking stand-up last night.
Crazy.
Bucket list item crossed off. But hey,
For real.
rate and review us. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Listen wherever you listen to your podcast. Tell your friends and family. Tell them they can go ahead and add us.
Yeah. And then fuck off.
See ya.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.